Bring in North Dakota Senator Sen Cramer, Republican on the Budget Committee. And I got to imagine, Senator, that you hear from your constituents a lot. We'll just put them up on the border for everyone to see. They see it when they go to the grocery store. The cost of meat, milk, eggs, everything is up, sir.
Well, it certainly is, Dana. Thank you for the opportunity. Right now, I'm in a snowpocalypse here in Bismarck, and the price of fuel is being recognized by the people blowing their driveways out on day 2 of a 3-day storm. But there's no question, in rural America, you're hit the hardest by particularly fuel inflation because you drive further to get to places. Deliveries, come from a long ways away. The products we create, that we produce, our food goes further, has to go further away from the center of the North American continent to around the world. So we get hit harder than most places. On the other hand, we are a commodity-based economy. So when the price of groceries is up, that means the price of cattle and wheat is also up. When the price of fuel is up, the price of oil is up. So there's parts of our economy that benefit as well, but none of this is good for all of us or really any of us. Yeah. And we feel it in North Dakota as we do everywhere.
Well, hard to get it under control, as you know, based on history. Did you see Senator Manchin's statement from yesterday? It was pretty strong. I'll read a little bit to our audience, if you don't mind here. It's a disservice, he writes, to the American people to act as if inflation is a new phenomenon. The Federal Reserve and the administration failed to act fast enough, and today's data is a snapshot in time of the consequences being felt across the country. Instead of acting boldly, our elected leaders and the Federal Reserve continue to respond with half measures and rhetorical failures, searching for where to lay the blame. Is Manchin still a Democrat?
Well, every now and then he reminds us that he's a Democrat. For example, when he wants, voting regulations. But Joe's right on this point. Besides the Budget Committee, I'm also on the Banking Committee, and I was pleading with the Federal Reserve over a year ago to start easing back a little bit on free money. Inflation is a simple issue. When demand outpaces supply, you're going to have inflation. And the Federal Reserve was very slow. When it was obvious that there was inflation happening, they called it transitory. Now they still talk about the hope for soft landings. And every now and then, when you have a really bad cancer, you need to cut it out. You can't just simply hope it goes away over the course of time. And so you have that. On top of that, of course, you have an administration and a Democratic Party that just keeps pouring fuel on this. It's like Joe Biden showed up at the West Wing one day and said, Kamala, the Oval Office is on fire. Get some gasoline quickly. We'll try to put it out. Everything they do is counter to solving the problem in front of us.
One of the people and he's not alone, Larry Summers was a Democrat. Right. And there are other Democrats who are trying to sound the alarm and trying to tell the administration they have to do better. Larry Summers says this to the Washington Post: "We have a serious inflation problem in the U.S. The problem didn't get made in a week or month, and it's not going to be resolved quickly or without pain." We live in a society now where there's a lot of things that you can get, like on Amazon Prime, right? 2-day delivery, here it comes. But on this one in inflation, it feels like the administration is basically saying, it's Putin's fault, and there's really nothing else we can do about it. Are consumers just in for a lot of pain for a long time as this gets worked out?
Well, I don't know how long necessarily, Dana, but if we'd act faster and more boldly, it wouldn't have to be all that long. I do think expectations need to be managed properly, but you can't continue to put the clamps on energy production in the United States, where we were once energy dominant and at least energy independent, and now we're becoming energy dependent. When they started those actions, flooding this supply side with free money, with the American Rescue Plan, shutting down energy development in our own country, and now this story I heard just a little bit ago on your show about California trying to go to a 32-hour work week, that's exactly the opposite of what you need to do. You need to boost the supply side of the economy, not boost the demand side and shrink the supply side of the economy. And that's what we see over and over. How about this latest desire to forgive every student's debt forever? I mean, just more fuel on this fire of inflation. So we need to take some tough positions. I think Republicans and Democrats, like Joe Manchin, are willing to talk about it, but we do have to talk about it in realistic terms rather than just blame somebody else, blame the big oil companies, blame Putin, blame the previous president, or whatever the case might be. We need to admit we have a challenge and take it on.
Thank you, Senator. We'll see when that happens, right?
Good to see you.
Yeah, Kevin
Good
Cramer
luck in snowpocalypse.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, a late storm moving through there.